Is the sun shining where everyone is at today? Yes.
Yes, it is.
My heart so happy to have some sunshine. I am ready for spring through and through.
Finally, it was like summer on Saturday and winter on Sunday. I don't really understand how that happened.
Yeah, that's the Midwest at its finest, right?
Mother Nature needs some lithium.
Yes, isn't that the truth? All right, well, we can go ahead and get started this afternoon. And as folks start to join in, we can make sure that they introduce themselves. We have 3 different community speakers that we are going to be highlighting today. I want to ensure that we're giving enough time for them to give their presentations, but also for us to go around and just do some brief introductions. So I'm happy to go ahead and get us started this afternoon. For those of you who don't know, my name is Carrie Knapp. I'm a community outreach coordinator with Chestnut Health Systems, helping support the McLean County ROSC. All right, Kat, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, I'm Kat Hayes. I am the recovery specialist for the McLean County ROSC.
Wonderful. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and bump down to Barb.
Yes, I'm Barb Brumlevy, and I'm a community health specialist at Chestnut, and I am working on the Fort and Livingston ROSC and definitely helping out McLean County ROSC. Happy to be here. Thanks.
Thank you, Barb. All righty, Autumn, do you mind introducing yourself?
Good afternoon. My name is Autumn. I'm with the Center for Community Engagement out of Chestnut Health Systems. And so my role is just prevention and supporting different community sectors all throughout Illinois.
Wonderful. All righty, Selena.
Hi, I am Selena Nolan. I am new with the McLean County Health Department. I'm the new behavioral health specialist.
Awesome. There's 2 Selenas. Let's go ahead and do Selena Papas.
Hi, okay, that's never happened to me before, so that's a fun new experience. I'm Selena Pappas. I'm with Central and my friends. We're based out of Peoria, but we have a clinic in Bloomington as well.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us today, Selena. All right, Michelle Cope, do you mind going to introduce yourself?
I would love to. I'm Michelle Cope from the Bloomington Public Library, and I drive bookmobile.
Wonderful. Thanks for being here today, Michelle. All right, Damika.
Hello, everybody. It's Damika. I'm Damika Kirkwood, and I'm with Prairie State Legal Services. I am their community outreach person, so glad to be here.
Wonderful. Thanks for being on here today. All righty, let's go ahead and jump down to John's Otter.ai. Maybe we'll skip that one for right now. All right, Lora, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yes, as long as I can figure out how to unmute myself. My name is Lora Passetti. Some of you may know that I work for Chestnut Health Systems. I work in the Lighthouse Institute Research Division. I am not here under that capacity, though. I'm here as the founder of Thrive Housing, but I've also been involved with the ROSC Planning Committee and when we were talking about housing.
Wonderful. Thank you, Laura. We look forward to your presentation today. All right, Randy.
Hello, I'm Randy Derrick. I'm a prevention coordinator at Chestnut Health Systems. I oversee the BN Parents, our substance use prevention grant for Bloomington Normal.
Awesome. Thanks, Randy. All righty, Mr. Pope, how's it going today? Do you mind introducing yourself?
Excellent. Good to see you again. Good to see everyone. My name is Matthias Pope. I am a financial advisor in Bloomington Normal and financial planner. And I got brought in for Financial Literacy Month, so get ready to get your socks knocked off.
Awesome. Thanks, Matthias. We're glad you're here today. All right, Mr. Beasley.
Hello, everybody. My name is Toy Beasley. I wear a couple of different hats in McLean County, but I'm here on behalf of McLean County Reentry Council. I'm the president of the McLean County Reentry Council, and I'm also a recovery support coordinator with TAS, Treatment Alternative for Safer Communities.
Wonderful. Thanks for being here, Mr. Beasley. We look forward to your presentation as well. All right, Leanne, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Carrie. My name's Leanne Corson. I am the Region 3 ROSC mentor, and I'm just so grateful to be here with you all today.
Wonderful. Thanks for being here, Leanne. All right, Michael Hoffman, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, I'm Michael Hoffman. I work at Bridgestone. I'm just here to sit in. Give
Wonderful.
piece of word where it's needed.
Awesome. Thank you for being here, Michael. All right, Sandra.
Sandra Beecher at Gateway Foundation. I'm the Senior Business Development Coordinator throughout all of Central Illinois. And I also do a lot of national stuff and the president of Central Illinois EAP. So glad to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Sandra. All right, Mike Gardner.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Gardner. I'm Sergeant of the Community Engagement Unit at Illinois State University Police Department.
Awesome. Pleasure to have you on here, Mr. Gardner. All right, Alex Williams.
Good afternoon, Alex Williams. I am here to get engaged. I'm one of the newly elected Unified School Board members. And so I was invited out to help plug in with this group, and excited about some of the outcomes I heard about. So thanks for inviting me.
Wonderful. It's a pleasure to have you on this call today. Thanks for joining us. All right, Ryan Lacrosse.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan. I'm the area director with Best Buddies in Central Illinois. We support people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, help them find friends, jobs, and work with leadership development. And you can see all of that at our free and really awesome celebration, April 29th at the Corn Crib for our Best Buddies Friendship Walk. So I encourage you to come join and eat some nothing bundt cakes because we'll have lots of them.
Them are good.
Awesome. That sounds like a great time. Thanks for sharing, Ryan. All right. I'm going to pump up here to Alan, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
I'm Alan Reed. First of all, I'm a recovering alcoholic, but I'm a part-time residential tech at Chestnut right now. It's good to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Alan. All righty, Julie.
Hi, I'm all about those nothing bundt cakes. Whoop, whoop. I'd go there in a second. My name is Julie Pullman. I do work for Chestnut. I'm with the statewide ROSC in Region 4, which is just below all of you. And so I was excited to start popping in on some Region 3 meetings and learning about the exciting things you guys have going on. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here today, Julie. All righty, Erica.
Hi, everyone. I'm Erica. I work for Omni Youth Services under the State Opioid Response Grants, and I oversee McLean County in Peoria, and the goal of our project is to do substance misuse education for coaches, adolescents, and student athletes.
Wonderful.
I'm also a former Redbird, so go Birds.
Awesome. Thank you, Erica. All righty, Sarah Stalter.
Hi, I'm the Assistant Director with the County's Behavioral Health Coordination Council, and I'm also a recovery specialist, and I'm representing Fuse here today.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sarah. All righty, Marisa.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm having a lot of audio issues, but my name is Marisa. I'm with McLean County CASA. I don't know what else was a part of the stipulations, but hi, happy to be here.
Wonderful. It's a pleasure to have you here today. All righty, we're going to jump down to our last couple that I see on my screen, Courtney and then Fran.
Hi, I'm Courtney. I'm with the Sangamon County ROSC and Family Guidance Centers.
Awesome.
I'm Fran. I'm with Sangamon County ROSC Family Guidance Center and currently the Recovery Support Specialist for ROSC.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Fran. And last but not least, I see a Steve on my screen. Steve, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, hey, this is Steve Tassio from Home Sweet Home Ministries. I'm the Director of Community Outreach. And yeah, sorry, my video I'm going to work on that while we get started here, but nice to be here with everyone.
Wonderful. It's a pleasure to have you on today. Was there anyone I was not able to get to that would like to introduce themselves before we get started? Alrighty, I think we covered the majority of folks. Again, we are excited to welcome 3 different community speakers to our presentation today. We have some financial services and financial literacy presentation by Matthias Pope. And then we have Lora Passetti here with us today, who's going to talk about affordable housing with Thrive Housing. And then we have Mr. Toy Beasley, who's going to talk about the McLean County Reentry Council. So some really good information. There is going to be an opportunity to ask some specific questions to each of these individuals. But in the situation, if we were to run out of time, just know that these 3 folks are wonderful, and you can always directly engage with them to be able to provide more resources or gather any additional information that you may be seeking. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Matthias to get us started today. Matthias, you should have screen sharing capabilities if you have a PowerPoint that you would like to share with us.
I'm going to share. So thank you, Carrie. And I just got to give a shout out to my girl, Kat. What's up? And Barb over there, I see you. Got blessed to be able to give a talk at the holiday party. So haven't seen a little bit of the crew in a while. So what they do on the radio back in the day, shout outs, right? I think so. So that's what I'm doing. My name's Matthias. I'm a financial planner in Bloomington Normal. A little bit of background on me. I was a helicopter pilot in the Navy after college. Did that for 9 years. Taught at University of Illinois for a couple years. Worked at State Farm Corporate for 8 years. I know you're like, how is this guy who looks so young doing so many things? I get it all the time. It's okay. And left and started my own business a few years ago. I also do a little spoken word on the side, used to, still try to. But I believe we're all called to serve others in some respect. And I know I was called to this career to serve others in part through what it is that I do. And so Kat asked me for Financial Literacy Month to come in and give a few words about financial planning. I help people at all stages of life, all financial situations as well. And so I do want to hit on some basics today. And if it's useful, I can always talk to groups about these things or do one-on-ones, and that's all free. So I want to start off with something that I like, and I think every person should know, and especially young people. And so can you see this here where it says 2 twins? Okay.
You can see it.
So I just, I went fancy on the graphics here, and I did this after my girl Kat. And plus, if you've ever heard of Boots and Cat, that's how, if you want to learn to beatbox, just say that over and over and over. So I got these 2 twins, Boots and Cat, both save $5,000 a year into a retirement account. Could be an IRA or a 401k or 403b. Maybe you've heard of one of those. It returns 8% per year on average. Cat starts at age 25. Cat, I made you the smart one here. She stops at age 40. So she's only done that for 15 years, whereas her friend Boots, or I guess this is her twin in this scenario, starts at age 35, thinks she's going to outsmart her sister, doesn't stop till age 65, so she's done it for 30 years. Who has more money at age 65? This would be a really bad example of financial planning if the answer was not Cat. So I like to call that out, especially for young folks, but really it's applicable to everyone. I do a lot of retirement planning, and this speaks to the importance of being able to save what you can in compound interest accounts, in investment accounts, when you're young, when you're able, because how that compounds over time is how we prepare for retirement in our future. So I just like that scenario. What I want to hit on today is just a few minutes, 3 topics, because financial planning is a broad, sticky topic. We've all done it or tried to do it or try to navigate it. I love the education piece, and I try to make it simple and a little bit of fun along the way. Three things I want to hit on: budget, debt, and savings. And I say that order because a lot of times when I meet with folks, that's the order I'm coming in at: budget, debt, savings. First of all, budget. That's cash flow. Okay. We can't get into other things unless we know for sure that we've got more money coming in the door than going out the door. And sometimes that's the place we got to start at. And so what we do, right, we don't go on to other things like talking about, boots and cat until we figure out, one, what's coming in the door. Pretty easy there for the most part. If you've got a job, you generally have money hitting your bank statement every week or two. And so we can look at that and we're saying net, that is, what do you get after taxes and benefits and whatever else is coming in. The hard part for folks is what's going out the door. Usually that's where I'll sit down, help people kind of figure that out. Banks make it very easy. We can track it. They can print a statement. We can categorize it. A lot of times I can just whiteboard it with people. What's rent? What's your phone cost? You're probably spending $100 a month in gas unless you're traveling further, maybe 200. We can figure it out. A lot of times what we see is you actually still have more coming in the door than out. So where's that money going? All that to say, budget, cash flow is step one. Okay. Once we feel good there, people like to do the fun stuff. Let's invest, let's save, let's do this. Great. It's awesome. How much debt do you have? And when I say that, I break it down into good and bad. Good debt, I own a house. Awesome. Student loan debt, not the worst, not a big deal. We're looking at the number one thing that's the driver to tell us if it's good or bad. Who knows? Anyone want to guess? Interest rates. What are you paying on your interest rate? The higher the interest rate, the bigger the target it has, right? If you go and get furniture and it's 0% for forever, it's just like cash. We're not in a rush to pay that off because we can go get higher percentage elsewhere. The best example of bad debt is, you could probably guess this, credit cards. And with interest rates going up, those are easily 25% now. So what I tell folks, we talk about saving in buckets. Bad debt is a hole in the bottom of your bucket. The bigger the interest rate, the bigger the hole in the bucket. You can start throwing money in, and if you're trying to average 6 or 8% over the long term, and your credit card is costing you 25% over that time, right? We don't need a math degree to start figuring out how that's going to work out. And any of us who have had credit cards and carried a balance on them, they linger and linger and linger. So we get the bad debt down. It doesn't mean we don't do anything else in the interim, but we got to attack it, and we attack it ferociously. And there's ways to do that to get it down as low as possible. As quickly as possible. I won't go into that today. Finally, the third thing is savings, right? This is the fun stuff. Now we're growing, right? We got the budgets hitting, the debt's gone, feeling good. We feel free. And now we can take that couple hundred or 400, whatever per month that we were putting towards bad debt, if it was there, and we can start having it rock and roll, paying our future selves, paying 65-year-old Matthias, right? That's fun. We like to see the money grow. There's two kinds of saving: saving your emergency fund or big expenditures in the next couple of years, like you want to buy a house next year. Okay, we need down payment money. We're not going to risk that. And we need to make sure if something goes wrong, your car breaks down, you need a new HVAC system in the home, whatever, we've got an emergency fund. Because what do we not want to do? Go and grab those credit cards again. Okay, then you've got the really fun stuff. This is how we outpace inflation. The last 2 years, inflation's all over the news. You don't have to look too far, right? And I love to educate along the way too, so I can bore you about it, but I won't now. But we got to outpace inflation. How do we do it? Think of boots and cats, right? Those are tax deferred accounts. If you have access to a 401k or 403b, especially a 401k, you probably have a match out there. That's free money we want to grab. If you don't, a lot of people don't know, even if you have an earned income, regardless of what it is, I'm not an employee. I can't access a 401k myself, but I can open other accounts like Roth IRAs. You may have heard of that. If you have earned income, even if you're not 18, you can contribute to a Roth IRA. Now think about putting that into play. Those grow tax deferred, meaning you don't get taxed every year. So you build a bigger pile of money. Uncle Sam isn't scraping off the top. It goes like this. And guess what happens when you start young? The market is like this every day, right? No one can guess it. If anyone says they can, don't believe them. So coming up with a plan based off an impossible guess is absolute insanity. But what does the market do in the long run? We got 100 years of data to know that if you're putting money in an account for 10, 20, 30 years, and you're basically burying it in your backyard, AKA don't touch it, we know exactly what it's going to do. And it's going to go like this. And so that's the aggressive side of saving for the future. So there's budget. You got to get the cash flow right. Got to be cash positive. If we're not, we're jumping the gun, right? Once we get that, is there bad debt? What's the measure for bad? The higher the interest rate, the scarier it is. Okay. We're not in a rush to pay off mortgages at 3%, to be honest. Final, savings. We got to build these buckets in timeline, in buckets that align to your goals and timelines. That's why, what's the best use of my dollars, Matthias? That's a question I get all the time in some form. The answer is, it depends. It depends where you are today, where you want to be tomorrow. You figure that out, you start to peel back the layers. And then savings, we need safe money that's not at risk. We need aggressive dollars that are building for our future selves. And that's it. I mean, in a nutshell for today. So I got an office here in town. We are opening up. If anyone knows C2 East in downtown Bloomington, that's the new Northwestern Mutual building. We're moving in June 1st. I love to talk. I love to teach this stuff. I love to make things that seem intimidating and scary, easy, and fun. And that's it. I appreciate you having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Matthias. Any questions for Matthias before we transition to our next presenter?
How you doing? Just Linda. I just had a question. What is the ideal time to start saving? And I know that, you know, a lot of students go to school, they work during school while getting their education. Some of them are ready to come out and get a full-time job or maybe a career. But what is the optimum time that young people should start thinking about savings?
Yeah, great question, Linda. Thank you. So I would say when you start earning an income, we need to start thinking about ways that you're going to start saving. So now if you're working at, 16, 17, right, depending on what you got going on, if you're working to put yourself through college and that money's going towards college, it doesn't mean that we can all save 20%. Kind of the ideal mark is, hey, let's put away 20% for our future selves. But once you start earning income, I would say it's important to at least have an idea and know some of the basic principles. So when you do get past that budget concern, right? So if you're working in college and it's all going towards food in college, we're not trying to do anything crazy at that point. But once we start getting some discretionary income, I made a lot of dumb mistakes in life. I won't list them all here because I know we only got an hour. One of the good things I did was open a Roth IRA when I was 22. It got drilled in my head. I opened it up. And back when I was that young, the max you could do was $2,000 a year. In my mind, there's no reason why if you don't have a job, you don't have earned income, and you got a little extra there, time to start saving.
Thank you so much, Matthias. And if you don't mind putting your information in the chat, just so folks have that easily accessible to them, that would be wonderful. All righty. Just due to the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and transition over to Lora to speak about Thrive Housing.
Okay, And I have a presentation. Let me share my screen. And can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay. Present. All right. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I am the founder of Thrive Housing and the president. And I'll give you a little bit of background. I mentioned that I work at Chestnut Health Systems. I've worked there or here for 26 years, and I'm going to pull a Matthias here and just say I like to tell people that I started when I was 10 years old. And through the years, as I've worked here on various research projects and with various clients, we've gotten to understand that housing has been a problem, especially affordable housing. And of course, working at Chestnut, my first interest was in sober housing. I'm also a small local landlord, so I have a few properties that I rent out. So I'm active in the landlord community and with various renters around. And I've seen the various issues in terms of people not being able to afford housing, especially nowadays and since the pandemic, when it's gotten even more out of control. And I think what Matthias is doing is so needed, because I have actually had very young renters coming to me saying that they could afford my housing, meaning they make more than 3 times the rent in gross every month. And he showed me his pay stub and he's like, see here. I'm like, oh, honey, that's your year to date. That's not your monthly income. They didn't understand how to read a pay stub and things like that. I'm kind of digressing here, but it's related. And so basically during the pandemic, I was thinking that to make sober housing or any other kind of housing affordable, we need grants and we need donations. So I started Thrive Housing as a nonprofit. We do have our 501c3. We're registered with the state. And how do I get this to go down? Oops, there we go. So we were officially incorporated as a 501c3 in 2021. And as I mentioned, the housing situation is just so out of control lately. I'm not even sure how people who make average wages can afford rents around here. And according to at least the most recent data I could find when I threw this slide together, the 2019 US Census data, so that was even pre-pandemic, 1 in 4 households could not afford the area's median gross rent, which is just sad, you know. And so I wanted to help do something about that. So really what we're trying to do is increase affordable housing in McLean County, Bloomington Normal for now. We believe affordable housing should be accessible for everyone. And we do value respect for our communities, integrity, accountability. Diversity is very important to us. People who have lived experience, we want to hear their stories and get information from them and be part of the process. So basically our mission is to provide and facilitate access to affordable housing. So this has been our business plan. We were founded 2021. We spent the last year and a half developing our infrastructure and doing a little bit of fundraising. Right now, we're actively looking for our first property. And what we're going to do is buy properties and rent them out to the general public, and no one would ever pay more than 3 times their gross income in rent. And we're going to have an income cap, although we haven't decided what it is quite yet. But we're also partnering, and I've been networking my little heart out with various agencies around town, so that, say, if that agency wanted housing for their clients, we could potentially then partner, buy the property, we do the building maintenance and all that kind of stuff, and their clients could move into that property in and out as the agency sees fit, and the agency could provide services to them. From the people I've met with, that seems to be a good fit, because service agencies want to provide services. They don't want to worry about maintenance and all that other kind of stuff. And we do the maintenance and we don't want to worry about the services. So there you go, hand in hand. What we'd like to do is acquire 1 to 2 properties every year from now on. Let's see. So this is just a recap of the kind of things that I said. We want to rent properties at affordable rates to the public, but also partner with nonprofits throughout the area. So like those nonprofits, they could either hold a master lease with us and move their clients in and out, or their clients could lease directly with us. Just sort of depends. There's flexibility in that arrangement. And we've been collecting some people's stories along the way. And here are just a couple that I have on the screen here. Mia is a mom. She's on disability. She was currently in the process of being evicted and was having a hard time to find a place to rent because of her physical condition. A hot tub was very helpful for her, but a lot of places wouldn't let her move in with a hot tub, and for liability reasons and all of that. And so she's worried that she and her child are going to be on the street. One example. Sarah is another person on disability, and over half of her income goes towards rent, which isn't good. You know, she has a great rental history, but poor credit. And she needed certain units, you know, with enough space, a laundry, located near a bus route. And the only place that she could find, her sister has to help her with the rent. And then she feels isolated because it's not near a bus route and she can't get out and do anything. She can't drive, all that kind of stuff. So it's very rarely only about affordable housing. It's about a lot of issues that occur with it, which I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir on this, right? You all know this already. But we are collecting more stories. So if you or anyone you know with lived experience would either like to be part of the organization or share their stories with us, we would love to interview them, sign consents and all that, because what we want to do when we are going around and talking to various places is personalize it and not just throw a bunch of numbers and data, that these are the real people behind these statistics and what they're facing every day. And if somebody who has that lived experience can advocate as well, even better. I mean, I want that. So here's our current board right now. We have one other application in place that we're going to be reviewing. And so some of you may recognize a few of the names on there, and we're very excited to have them. And we welcome anybody, even non-board members, to our meetings if you'd like to either maybe discuss your organization and ways you may potentially want to partner with us, or just drop in and see how we're doing, or volunteer. We're more than happy to do that. Let me see, I think that was the last one. Here's our contact information. We do have a Facebook page, Thrive Housing NFP. So like us on there, check us out. We also have an email list that I send out periodic announcements to. So if you would like to be on that, send your information to thriveprop@gmail.com and we'll get you added on there. Now I think for real, that was the last one. Yes, I lied. Okay.
Thank you so much, Laura. This was so beneficial. I've known a little bit about Thrive Housing, but this kind of brought that to a whole new extent, right? And we know that there is a major housing issue in a lot of different counties that we serve. So we appreciate all the wonderful work that you're doing day in and day out with the services that you're offering.
Thank you. I feel like we can't get properties fast enough and it's going to fill quickly. And I wish we had 20 already. So if you know anyone that's trying to get rid of a property for cheap or donate it, let us know.
I will keep that in mind. All righty. Any questions for Laura? Alrighty. I don't see any hands raised at this point in time. Laura, again, if you don't mind putting your contact information in the chat, so if folks have any other additional questions or thoughts, they can contact you. And then last but not least, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Beasley to talk about the McLean County Reentry Council.
Thank you. Can I get host site access?
Sure.
Good afternoon, everybody. Like I said, my name is Toy Beasley. I am the president of the McLean County Reentry Council. I'm also a person that have been just as impacted. I was in and out of prison system from 1991 to 1999. When I paroled from Tam's work in February 1999, I knew when I was sent home that there was a mission that I wanted to be a part of. And I knew that one thing I had to do is be a part of my community. So when I paroled from Tam's work in February 1999, I moved to Bloomington Normal. I moved to Bloomington Normal. I was actually a client at Chestnut Health Systems in their halfway house. So not only was I a client at Chestnut Health System, I ended up being an employee for 8 years after that. And currently now I'm working, not only doing the community work with the McLean County Reentry Council, I'm the reentry support coordinator with TAS, statewide reentry coordinator with TAS, where we work between clients that come home from prison, come home from the county jail, come home that's involved in the DCFS system to help them regenerate back into the community. So how does McLean County Reentry Council started? We started back in May of 2021. There was a couple of people, Dr. Beechner with Illinois State University and Kara Kurt with the YWCA Labrador House approached me and said, hey, look, we need to get something started. A lot of these guys that's come on with McLean County, we need to get them involved in the community. Not only get involved in the community, that we need to educate our community on what reentry is. A lot of people that are in McLean County, they're not used to talking or hearing about reentry, because when you're used to hearing and talk about reentry, they think about, oh, I don't want to be a part of those people. So right then and there's a lot of people that stigmatize people that coming home from prison. But we got together as a group and we started the McLean County Reentry Council, and one of our goals is to, how can we educate? First of all, our mission with the McLean County Reentry Council is to increase education, resources, autonomy to vulnerable populations throughout McLean County to decrease prison recidivism rates and family episodes. Our goal is to strive to reduce stigma and provide advocacy justice with affected population to remove barriers for financial, food, employment, and housing services for individuals and families in McLean County. Roughly 75% of individuals that return to the penal system due to systemic barriers impeding from policy change. When a united community endorses the removal of barriers impeding productive and personal lives for all community members, the community becomes a valuable and safe demographic for all citizens to feel seen and heard. Like I said, one of our goals is how can we educate our community on how to get involved in what the things we're doing. So we invited people to the table and started educating them on, this is what people go through. A lot of our people that are incarcerated, that come home from prison, they're not locked up for the crime they committed. They're locked up because of untreated trauma. So if we could get together as a community and educate on what these people go through, they feel more accepted. A lot of people don't feel accepted because they feel like they can't relate to each other, or vice versa, the community can't relate to them. So one of our goals is that was another way for us to reduce stigma in the community, so the community can better understand what an individual go through. I know when I came home from prison, February 1999, I didn't feel like I was part of it. I didn't feel like that nobody wanted to hear my story. For many, many years, before I landed into the Illinois Department of Corrections, I used drugs and alcohol because I didn't feel like I was wanted, which landed me into the Department of Corrections. So I was like, man, how can I be a voice for the voiceless? And sometimes, being a voice for the voiceless is advocating for them. So what I do, not only with the McLean County Reentry, but do with my day-to-day job, is advocate for people that have went through the criminal justice system. Like I said, recovery is talked about a lot, but reentry is not talked about a lot. Really, they go hand in hand. People that's in recovery is in reentry. People that's in reentry is in recovery. So one of our goals too is how can we reach people that's in the Illinois Department of Corrections that's coming home from prison? One of our goals is to start reentry before they leave. So if we start building relationships before they leave the prison system, they're more adamant to come out and be successful. So one of our goals is to start to identify what are the needs that people is coming home from prison, not only from prison, but from the county jail before they leave those systems. So one of our goals is to connect with the McLean County Jail, which we're starting that process, and to connect with DOC to find out which individuals coming home. So what we're going to do is start sending in information. Who are the felony-friendly employers? Right now, individuals that's coming home from prison, they leave with a state ID. They leave with a SNAP card. I mean, a SNAP benefits even before they leave right now. But what are some other things we can send them in there before they leave? And so one of our goals is to start putting packets together and start sending into those individuals. So when they come home, they can get a head start on what is in their community for them. Some of our IDOC system, prison systems allow some of the individuals that's incarcerated to have access to email. So right now, certain prisons allow certain residents that's incarcerated to have access to email. But if we connect with them before they leave, so when they get here, they already know what's going on in their community. Like I said, that we can eliminate a lot of that red tape. The reason why I have not went back to prison, I was a go-getter. Everybody's not a go-getter like me. I had mission, I had goals. A lot of people that come home behind me, they don't have mission, have goals, but how can we do that? So like I said, one of our goals is to get the community involved to see what we can do to help reduce recidivism. And that's from getting our local police involved, local social service agencies, our local government, our state government, our federal government. We got to get everybody involved for us to make change in the community. One of the other goals that McLean County Reentry does, we connect with other local agencies outside of the McLean County. We involved with the Fully Free campaign, which a Fully Free campaign is that how can we connect with our state and local legislature to help change policies? That's one of the biggest barriers that people face when they come home is that there's certain jobs that people with fellows can't work at. Why is that? So you tell me individuals that's been home for 7, 10, 11, 12 years, they can't work at State Farm and they fit the criteria. They can't work at country companies, they fit the criteria. They can't work at banks and they fit the criteria. So these barriers are holding people back from being successful. So the average individual say, they don't want me to work at their business. They don't want me to do that. I might as well go back to what I know. And what is that? Selling drugs, prostitution, panhandling, anything they can do to think of. Now, is that excuse for individuals to go back to prison? No, it's not. But that's how they think sometimes. Once again, I'm going back to this again. A lot of people that come home from prison, they're not locked up for the crime they committed. They're locked up because of untreated trauma. What do I mean by that? Mom and dad was in prison. Mom and dad was on drugs and alcohol. I was molested. I prostituted all my life. Mom died when I was at a young age. I had a friend that died of gun violence. So there's a lot of different things that men and women go through that the community don't understand. So the McLean County Reentry Council meets every third Friday. I'm gonna pull up a QR code. If you want to attend that meeting every third Friday, you're more welcome to attend that meeting every third Friday over Zoom from 1 to 2:30. You're welcome to come with your ideas and ways to think of how to make changes in our community when it comes to people that have been formerly incarcerated and justice impacted. We got an upcoming resource fair coming up on April 29th. We got a resource fair coming up April 29th. I will have Kat sent out to everybody if she haven't yet. We're gonna have the resource fair consists of different vendors from the community coming out. We're gonna have free food. We got a live DJ. We're gonna have games. We just want to get together and celebrate. This is Reentry Month, but we want to get together and celebrate the people that's coming home from prison. And that's another way to bring the individuals in the community to the agencies in one place. That's another big barrier, is when people come home, they got to go to all these different places, and sometimes that can be a big barrier. So that's why we do this every year. Every April, our goal is to try to have something that we can get the community involved to come out and have conversation, have fun, and talk about ways to reduce recidivism. Other than that, I'm excited. Like I said, we in the midst of applying for our 501c3. We are registered with the state already. And so one of our goals is strive to help reduce recidivism. And we need everybody involved to help us achieve those goals. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up our, we got a Facebook page. Let me see here. Let me pull that up here. Is this? Here it is. Can you guys see that? We got a Facebook page called McLean County Reentry Council. We on YouTube, McLean County Reentry Council. This is our board of directors and our board members. And here's the QR code for our meeting every Friday. We got one coming up this Friday. We more than be happy if everyone would join us on that. If you have any questions, you can email us right here at McLean County Reentry Council at gmail.com. Thank you, Kat. Thank you guys, Carrie, for allowing me to share.
Thank you so much, Troy. I really appreciate your enthusiasm and passion that you brought to this call today. So thank you for everything that you're doing and all the hard work that you're putting forth each and every day. All righty. Any questions for Toy or the McLean County Reentry Council?
Yeah, this is Linda. I don't have a question. I just want to keep encouraging them to keep doing what they're doing. And we know that Toy has a passion for it, and he has the background in it. So he covers everything. He ain't just telling you, he lived it. You know what I mean? And so if he lived it, then he has some insight and some experiences about how we can better prepare residents to come back into our community or go back into the environment and feel as though that they can provide a positive relationship so that individuals will feel as though they're part of the community. Because that's what it's about, you know. I mean, we got to get through this thing here together. We can't have the have and the have-nots, you know. So however we do it, we got to do it together, and we have to encourage people. Because just because they got caught, some of us didn't, you know. And so we just need to make sure that we are being able to help provide services, resources, talk about it, and then being about it. And so having that event, that fair on the 29th, I truly support that. And information is power if you use it, right? You know, with the insurance and everything else that's been said tonight, the different housing. You know, if you ain't got housing, you know, if you ain't got a roof over your head, you know, then that makes your mind run toward how do I get it? Everybody else got it. So great topics today. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. You brought up multiple great points. And I loved what you said, Toy, in the very beginning, that everyone deserves to be seen and heard, right? And that's what we stand for, right? With this ROSC Council and the collaboration that each of you bring every month, right? And throughout the days in between our meetings too. We're here to help serve the people in our community in recovery and the folks that are, you know, needing that support first and foremost. So we appreciate your collaboration. Alrighty, any other final questions for Matthias, Lora, or Toy today? Alrighty, well, wonderful job, guys. Thank you so much for your participation and taking some time out of your day just to speak on the services and supports that you offer. Toy will be sure to go ahead and send along that re-entry fair information to our council with our meeting minutes for today. With the 12 minutes that we have left, we do just have some internal updates that we're hoping to share with you guys. So let me go ahead and get up this PowerPoint real quick. Alrighty, so one quick update that we wanted to provide the council today is we have a save the date that we would like for all of you to put on your calendars. Our team is planning just a simple McLean County ROSC open house and appreciation event. So the date that we have chosen for that is Thursday, June 8th from 2 to 4 p.m. That will take place at our Crossroads Chestnut location, which is located at 448 Wiley Drive. Mainly, this is just going to be an opportunity to connect with one another together, but just to highlight the wonderful work that's been going on the past 12 months. So our fiscal year actually ends in June. We'll continue that wonderful work that we're doing into July and the remaining months, but we just want to pause and take a moment to say thank you and to recognize that we can't do the work that we do without each and every one of your supports and collaboration. So more information to come on that. Keep an eye out in your email. We have already sent out one save the date, but again, please feel free to share this information with others that might be interested in joining as well. Alrighty, and just to highlight some of our community outreach events that are upcoming as well. As most of you know, the McLean County ROSC has been offering a professional clothing drive throughout the month of April. So we have some of our collaborators here on the phone call with us today. We greatly appreciate our residential treatment site of Chestnut supporting us in this effort, along with the Center for Human Services, LifeSIL, as well as the ISU Campus Police. So all 4 of those locations are drop-off locations for any type of professional clothing that you may have that you're just wanting to get rid of. So we're using this time just to allow for folks to clean out their closets and to bring those gently used items to one of those 4 locations. And then the ROSC is having a couple different collaborations with the different distribution efforts with those clothes. But one of that is that May Day clothes swap that you see up here on our screen. So that is going to be an opportunity for women who are specifically needing some clothing to get into the employment world, where they have an opportunity to come and shop for those clothes. In addition to that, we have a partnership right now with our local drug court with helping supply them with these clothes as well for various clients that might need some nice clothing for employment or interviews or what have you. So we appreciate all of the donations that we've received so far. It's been really awesome to see the community come together for this effort. Also, some other sober social events that we have upcoming. Our next bowling night, which is actually scheduled for this Friday, which is April 21st. We are sold out. All of our tickets, all 30 plus tickets, sold out a couple weeks ago, which is a great problem to have. But we're looking forward just for a night for the community to come together, to be able to get together and just have some fun in a sober environment. In addition to that, we are also offering some upcoming Tai Chi classes. We are partnering with a person with lived experience who's also a Tai Chi instructor to offer 3 different Tai Chi classes throughout the McLean County region. So the first one is going to be held on Monday, April 24th, and that's actually going to be at the Glen Covert building. And then the other 2, which are Monday, May 1st and Monday, May 8th, those are going to be held at the Junction at Home Sweet Home Ministries. So these are completely free, open to the public, no experience required for Tai Chi, very light movement. However, registration is required. So there is that QR code up on your screen, and we will be sure again to keep distributing these flyers out through email so you have them accessible to you. But please feel free to share this information for anyone who might be interested in joining us for those events. Alrighty, and then lastly, we just want to highlight our yearly Grady's Family Fun Night that we will be hosting in the month of June. So this is scheduled for June 23rd at 6 p.m. at Grady's Fun Park. So we are excited again just to have an opportunity for friends, family, council members to come together and just enjoy a fun night, hopefully rain-free. But in the case that it does rain, we do have a rain backup date scheduled, which is for June 30th. So again, completely free, open to the public, whoever wants to join. But again, that registration is required and that QR code can be found on this flyer. Alrighty, I just want to do a quick little plug. If anyone is interested in receiving a free Narcan for McLean County, or if you have any interest in receiving a Narcan presentation for your team or your organization, please contact Randy Derrig. She's actually on the phone call today, but her contact information is up there. We are more than happy to get you connected and ensure that you guys are receiving the services and supports around Narcan education. just wanted to put a little plug. We're always seeking out new folks to join our planning committee. So the different events that we highlighted today with the Grady's and the Sober Social and the bowling, that's simply due to the planning committee. They're doing such wonderful work each and every week. So if you have any interest in kind of organizing community events and applying some various skills in that area, feel free to reach out to Kat. Her contact information is up here on the screen today. And we would love to get you connected where we can. And last but not least, here's our contact information. At any point, feel free to reach out to us if you have any specific questions or concerns, or if there's things that you would like us to highlight in our newsletter or social media. That's what we're here for, and that's what the ROSC is all about, right? Is helping support various collaborations, but also increase awareness and increase access to those services throughout our community. So feel free to reach out at any point, and we would love to hear from you. We have about 5 minutes remaining in our presentation today, so I just want to go ahead and take a moment to pause and see if there's any community agency updates that you would like to share, or any other upcoming events that folks need to be aware of.
Hello. I just wanted to say have a quick update. First, I do want to say thank you again to the speakers. I've heard Troy before, again, very passionate about what he talks about. And also had come across Lora before with the Thrive organization. I will be reaching out to both of you separately after this, and also to Randy about something else differently. So with that said, I just want to say that we did partner. We provided a bin location for the clothing drive, and it just seems to be going very well. I can't say that we could house 2 bins, but man, we fill those bins up every week, and I end up having to go back in and figure out how to fit them in there. But so that the building doesn't, come to our department. So I'm just saying, I think it's going successful, at least on our end. If you come across some of those bins, please make sure you're donating if you can, because something like that should not be a barrier for reentry or to recovery. And so that's something that we can do a very small part in order to help them.
Great point. Thank you so much, Mike. Again, it's been really wonderful to see the community come together in this initiative. So thank you for your support in that. Alrighty, any other updates or things that folks need to be aware of?
Yeah, I have one. So my nonprofit is putting on a webinar on May 3rd, and the webinar is titled Mental and Physical Wellness for Athletes on and Off Season. We're going to have speakers like the sports psychologist from Northwestern University, the lead pharmacist for Northwestern Medicine Hospital. We're going to have Ryan O'Callaghan, who is a former NFL Chiefs player, on our panel. So it's totally free to anyone who wants to attend. We're just going to be highlighting really how we as adults and a community can support adolescents in choosing not to misuse any substances, and it's totally free. So I'll put the flyer in the chat, and yeah, hoping to see some people there.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Erica. And we're happy to send that information out to the council as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Alrighty. Any other thoughts before we wrap up our time today?
Did anyone else see that webinar with Danny Trejo that was put on by some Illinois libraries? It was really interesting. He talked about being in prison and his substance use, and how he got into acting and all that kind of stuff, and now he sells tacos.
I love that. If you think about it, Laura, feel free to send that along to me, and again, we would be happy to put it out to the council or even put it on our resource guide. Awesome. Alrighty, well, thank you everyone for your time today. If there are any other updates that come to your mind and you would like us to include those in the minutes that go out to the council, feel free to send those along. The minutes usually get sent out by the end of the week. Otherwise, thank you so much to all of our presenters today. It was a pleasure to have such a great turnout. So thank you for the community for coming together, and we hope to see you at our next meeting, which is scheduled for May 16th. That's going to be here before we know it, and that will be at 3:30 p.m. So in the meantime, take care and feel free to reach out if there's any way that we can support. Awesome. Take care.
Thank you.